1,000 years ago, all bee species were under the dominion of the dragon clan. The leader was known by the title demon god. With boundless ambition, the demon god sowed chaos, leading his demon army to ravage the human world. His insatiable greed aimed to plunge every corner of the world into eternal darkness. At that moment, as humanity faced annihilation, their potential was unleashed, and some exceptional individuals awakened the ability to control beasts. They were known as beast tamers. A beast tamer roared, commanding his battle beast to unleash a devastating attack. Meanwhile, an urgent report sounded that a beast in the residential area north of Qingfang City had been struck. The injured beast fell directly into the residential area, and rescue teams were requested for emergency medical assistance. Amidst the chaos, a student named Shirao Xingyu from Shangnan High School was in extreme fear. The injured dragon beast lay dying amidst the rubble. Its blood splattered, staining Shirao Xingyu and LT, Unk and GT's stunned face. He stood frozen amidst the flames, his entire body covered in the monster's blood. Suddenly, an ancient memory surfaced, and he mumbled about a pact made with heart's blood to summon a spirit from the void. With blood as his oath and words as his bond, Shirao Xingyu shouted the command to summon the flame lion. Immediately after, the report confirmed the beast was dead. They also confirmed there were survivors amidst the rubble. Fortunately, no casualties were recorded. A strange woman smiled, handed him a card, and said that Azure Dragon Academy would handle the aftermath and compensate for the damages. As she and her teammates left on powerful battle beasts, Shirao Xingyu was stunned to realize they were beast tamers. Returning home, Xiaoying was lost and thought about his dream of becoming a beast tamer, but despaired at not having the money to buy even one beast. Suddenly, he noticed a husky puppy clinging to his leg. The little puppy, with its clear blue eyes and a red mark on its forehead, looked incredibly adorable. It happily jumped up and licked Xiaoying and LT, Unk and GT's face affectionately. Standing amidst the ruined room, he was shocked to realize this puppy might have followed the dragon in and wondered if it was a companion beast. Xiaoying suddenly remembered the textbook mentioning the Gale Hound, a species with weak bloodline, and rejoiced that he now had a beast to become a beast tamer. But he worried as the National Beast Tamer exam was only 3 days away. Nevertheless, he excitedly lifted the puppy, shouting the slogan to awaken the spirit. Afterward, Shirao Xingyu stood before a beast tamer shop in Qingfang City. He sadly looked at the puppy in his hands, thinking he should hand it over to someone qualified to raise it. He felt he couldn't provide a future for it. A man wearing a bandana opened the shop and grumbled, asking why he was there so early. Xiaoying then presented the puppy and asked if the shop owner wanted to buy this beast. The shop owner flatly refused, scolding that no one would buy a Gale Hound with a low bloodline and no evolutionary path. Offended, Xiaoying turned away in annoyance, hugging the whimpering puppy. Suddenly, his eyes widened in astonishment at a strange blue light. A system interface appeared before him, and he couldn't believe what he was seeing. Xiaoying rubbed his eyes, trying to confirm again. The system interface was still there, clearly displaying a hidden evolutionary path. Just then, a young man with strange purple hair approached and sneered. A hidden evolutionary path? What evolutionary path does a Gale Hound have? Go away. Xiaoying was shocked to realize he was the only one who could see the beast system interface. Suddenly, a young man named Suja, son of a tycoon, approached and mocked Xiaoying for daring to show up. Suja looked at the dog in Xiaoying and LT, Unk and GT's hands and asked if he had acquired a beast. Mind your own business, Shirao Xingyu snapped. But Suja just sneered and uttered a derogatory remark. Gale Hound. Suja continued to provoke, saying it seemed Xiaoying and LT, Unk and GT's girlfriend was right about him not daring to take the exam. He laughed arrogantly, asserting that no matter how hard he tried, someone like Xiaoying could never pass. Xiaoying dazedly asked about Lena, and Suja smirked, preparing to reveal a harsh truth. Suja triumphantly declared that Xiaoying and LT, Unk and GT's ex-girlfriend, Zhang Lena, had been seeing him for a long time. Just then, Zhang Lena appeared, linking arms with Suja and asking where he'd been. Zhang Lena appeared confused upon seeing Xiaoying, but inwardly, she scorned him as a pathetic failure. Xiaoying angrily pointed at her, recalling past events, and declared loudly that he was the one who dumped her. He turned and walked away defiantly, ignoring Suja and LT, Unk and GT's furious threats to crush him in the exam. Looking at the Gale Hound's hidden system interface, Shirao Xingyu silently resolved. Who says Gale Hounds are useless? 3 days later at Xylan Square, the National Beast Tamer exam officially began, and candidates were instructed to enter the examination area. The exam had officially commenced. Xiaoying Yu and LT, Unk and GT's appearance caused the other candidates to whisper, mocking him for daring to take the exam without the money to buy a beast. Xiaoying Yu ignored the gossip when they learned he dared to register for the prestigious Azure Dragon Academy. His eyes gleamed with an unshakable determination. He approached the proctor's desk and declared, "Good morning, teacher. I'm here for the exam." The proctor, named Chun Chinen, an admissions teacher at Azure Dragon Academy, asked for Xiao Xingyu and LT, Unk and GT's identity. Chun Xin muses to himself that this student is the only one from Qingfang County to register for the academy. Suddenly, Suja appears and mocks Xiao Xingyu for not knowing his own limits. He yells that for the past 5 years, no applicant from the city has passed. Suja arrogantly challenges, declaring he will kneel and call Xiaoying Yu father if he passes. Xiaoying Yu coldly replies, telling him to be ready to keep his promise. He turns to the proctor and asks to begin the test, ignoring Suja fuming behind him. Qin Xin seriously warns Shirao Xingyu about the harshness of the exam and the severe consequences of failure. Despite the taunts of other candidates echoing in his mind, Xiaoying Yu remains resolute and begins. Chun Xinian announces the first test is spirit energy measurement. Xiaoying Yu places his hand on the crystal ball, which begins to glow as the proctor prepares to announce the result. The initial number displayed on the ball is 316. Suja bursts into laughter, mocking Xiaoying Yu for not even reaching the minimum requirement. Chun Xinan looks disappointed and prepares to call the next candidate, but suddenly he freezes as he realizes Xiaoying Yu and LT, Unk and GT's spirit energy is changing. The number on the ball jumps to 621 and continues to rise. It quickly surpasses the 700 mark and then the 800 benchmark. The number 802 clearly appears on the surface of the ball. The crowd, including SUA and Zhang Lina, stares in disbelief as the number reaches 956, assuming the meter is broken. Finally, the ball stops at an astonishing 1028. Chun Chinian is stunned as he watches the measuring ball shatter, the final number settling at 1028. The crowd is bewildered, wondering what kind of monster Xiaoying Yu is. The narrator explains that spirit energy determines the number of beasts a beast master can contract. Every 100 points corresponds to one beast. With a score of 1028, it means Xiaoying Yu has the potential to become a 10-star beast master. Chen Xinyan mutters to himself in amazement about the title 10 SD Star Beastmaster. He recalls that in the past few decades, only a few people in the entire Dragon Country have reached this level. Xinyan announces Xiaoying's score as 1028, just 2 points shy of last year's genius, Yin Ningguang. Zhang Lina dismissively states that even so, he will never pass the Beast Bloodline test. As Chen Shun prepares to announce the second test, a staff member calls him over. The staff member whispers that the meter had a malfunction and Shirao Xingyu and LT, Unk and GT's actual score is 1032. Realizing this score is even higher than Yin Ningguang's, Chun Chinian decides to keep it a secret and instructs the staff member to report the machine was faulty. He loudly declares the second test is to examine the beast's bloodline quality. Chun Xinan asks Xia Xingyu to summon his beast. Xiaoying Yu confidently calls out his beast's name. Black Fong, it's your turn. A summoning circle glows on the ground as he prepares. Suja and Zhang Lina watch with bated breath, anticipating a powerful beast to appear. Instead, the first thing that appears is a pair of soft, fluffy ears. A puppy is sleeping soundly, drooling, nestled within the summoning circle. The crowd erupts in laughter as they realize it's just a lowest-tier Galehound. Qinyan muses that the beast's bloodline is important, and Xiaoying Yu and LT, Unk and GT's beast is clearly of very poor quality. He regretfully prepares to announce the result. Shirao Xingyu, I'm very sorry, but your beast. Suddenly, a candidate in the crowd shouts, Wait, look, that's not a Galehound. The puppy's eyes suddenly glow red, and the mark on its forehead also lights up. To everyone's astonishment, it begins to evolve amidst dark energy, even though Galehounds are known to have no evolutionary path. Before Chin Shinian and LT, Unk and GT's eyes, a giant wolf appears, its system panel displaying its name. Galehound Epic Bloodline. Chinchin looks at the majestic wolf with eyes full of shock and interest. He smiles, thinking to himself about Xiaoying Yu. Believing this young man is truly special, Qin Yan solemnly announces Xiaoying Yu has passed the exam and welcomes him to Azure Dragon Academy. Suja, unable to believe the result, angrily pulls Jiang Lina to leave. Shurao Xingyu along with the giant gale hound blocks their path, mockingly asking, "Where are you going?" "Not going to say father goodbye," Suja furiously yells, challenging that he will never call him that. Xiaoying coldly orders his beast, Black Fang. Suja is startled by Xiaoying and LT, Unk and GT's killing intent. Immediately, Black Fang uses its giant claws to pin Suja to the ground. Completely subdued, Suji grits his teeth and shamefully calls out, "Father." Xiaoying turns and walks away coldly, saying, "I don't have a son like you. Get lost." Jiang Lina rushes after him, trying to hold him back, saying she has deep feelings for him. Shurao Xingyu firmly refuses. "Sorry, I don't go back to the past." He walks away, leaving Jiang Lina kneeling on the ground, desperately begging in regret. Xiaoying happily held his phone, intending to share the good news of his admission to Azure Dragon Academy with his sister. He excitedly made the call, but only his sister's panicked voice calling his name came through. A loud explosion echoed through the phone, and the call was abruptly cut off, leaving Xiaoying frozen in horror. At the agricultural market on the outskirts of Qingfang City, a swarm of monsters suddenly invaded, causing the civilians to scream and flee in disarray. Amidst the chaos, a little girl was sobbing in the arms of an adult. A stranger with white hair held the child tightly, calmly reassuring her. "Don't be afraid." They were hiding behind broken rocks, while a giant monster's leg appeared right beside them. The woman looked up, her eyes filled with determination and vigilance. A giant purple scorpion-like monster with multiple red eyes loomed above, drooling venom. Shurao Xingyu finally arrived at the scene, and he asked in despair what on earth happened. He frantically searched through the ruins and flames, with only one question in his mind. "Where is my sister?" The giant scorpion raised its claws high, preparing to unleash a devastating attack. Xiaoying and Galehound rushed forward in desperation, continuously shouting his sister's name. A memory flashed through someone's mind with glowing blue eyes and a whisper. "This is happening again." A system interface appeared, and Xiaoying tried to order Galehound to use its skill, but then prepared to realize it wasn't working at all. Galehound also looked back at its master in confusion, not understanding why the familiar command was ineffective. The scorpion monster thrust its venomous tail towards the white-haired woman, who could only scream in helplessness. "Stop right there." In that critical moment, Xiaoying suddenly recalled the image of the woman from Azure Dragon Academy. He remembered that when they appeared, they had recited some kind of incantation to summon power. Gathering all his courage, Xiaoying decided to experiment, beginning to recite a blood oath, causing Galehound to be enveloped in a blazing red light and begin to transform. Xiaoying recited the blood oath to bind and unleash Galehound's hidden power. He ordered the wolf to attack, and it immediately gathered a blazing energy ball in its mouth. Galehound roared, unleashing a destructive energy beam towards the giant scorpion. Standing before the monster's corpse, Xiaoying wondered in amazement if he had truly defeated it. He suddenly snapped back to reality, realizing with a jolt that his sister was still near the monster. Xiaoying rushed towards his sister, who was shielding a little girl, and called out to her worriedly. He was overjoyed to see his sister safe while she was still stunned by his appearance. Shurao Xingyu proudly announced that he had been admitted to Azure Dragon Academy and become a Beastmaster. Galehound in its puppy form suddenly leaped towards his sister, startling Xiaoying. He happily introduced it as his contracted beast while it affectionately licked his hand. Shurao Xingyu solemnly declared its name to be Galehound Heya. The surrounding civilians were stunned to realize that the giant monster had truly been destroyed. Shurao Xingyu confirmed this while his sister was still in disbelief, both of them standing with the little girl and Galehound. The little girl's mother ran over, thanked them, and called her child to her in joy. After the mother and daughter were reunited, Xiaoying and his sister left, heading towards the monster's corpse. He invited his sister to check the spoils from the dead scorpion. A system interface appeared showing an item called Monster Core from the beast's remains. Xiaoying held the low-grade poison attribute core in his hand. Contemplating, he decided to throw the core to Galehound, believing that even the smallest benefit would help it evolve. Standing with Galehound, Xiaoying boldly reassured everyone that the monster was dead. After the battle, the survivors joyfully surrounded Xiaoying, hailing him as their hero. The rescued little girl looked at him with admiration and said she also wanted to become a Beast Master. Xiaoying smiled, patted her head, and encouraged her, saying he believed she could definitely do it. That night, after a long day, a crescent moon hung in the sky. Xiaoying had fallen into a deep sleep. Suddenly, his sister appeared, silently standing by his bed, looking down at her younger brother. The sister pondered something. Her blue eyes gleamed with intense focus. On Shirao Xingyu and LT, Unk and GT's back, a blue dragon-shaped seal was glowing, revealing a sealed power. Elsewhere, the sister was on the phone, reporting that the ancient dragon curse was still present, and the Dragon King's essence seal remained intact. She wondered in confusion why Xiao Yu could still contract with beasts, finding it absurd. The person on the other end believed this was fate's arrangement and ordered her to monitor him closely. With a determined expression, she replied that she understood and would continue to supervise her brother. At Qingfang City's train station, the siblings were about to depart, bid farewell by a large crowd of residents. Friendly neighbors brought Xiao Yu a basket of salted duck eggs and red envelopes containing money. The siblings stood on the platform, waiting for the train to depart. Xiao Yu happily waved goodbye to everyone, promising to visit when he had time off. Once on the train, he thoughtfully invited his sister to sit down. A few hours later, an announcement warned passengers that the train was about to pass through a monster-infested area. However, shortly after, another announcement confirmed that the train had safely passed through the dangerous zone. Xiao Yu breathed a sigh of relief as the train neared El-In City, his sister smiling and reminding him to study hard. Suddenly, a violent jolt rocked the entire carriage, startling Xiao Yu and the other passengers in panic. An urgent announcement blared, warning of a pack of three-eyed giant apes ahead, terrifying everyone who thought they had passed the danger zone. Immediately after, the train carriage was smashed open amidst the passengers' desperate screams. A colossal, three-eyed giant ape smashed through the carriage, attacking a man who screamed in horror. Amidst the chaos, Xiao Yu resolutely told his sister to flee, despite her worried inquiries. His sister knelt down, desperately, begging her brother not to go as he stepped forward to face the danger. Xiao Yu stood alone, blocking the ferocious giant beast. Just as the monster swung its fist, a golden fox darted out, miraculously blocking the attack. A red-haired girl wielding a spear appeared, shouting at Xiao Yu to retreat, and was recognized as Qin Yan Ran, daughter of the Sky Guildmaster. Qin Yan Ran focused her energy, her spear glowing as she prepared a powerful skill. She and her Thunder Fox unleashed the Thunder Flash attack, charging forward with incredible speed. Xiao Yu and LT, Unk and GT's eyes focused intensely, activating his special analytical ability. He immediately identified the beast as a level 3 three-tailed thunder fox with epic quality. The passengers recognized Qin Yan, ran, and cheered in hope, believing they were saved. However, Xiao Yu wore a doubtful expression, sensing something was wrong. He realized the horrifying truth. Three-eyed giant apes lived in packs, and the presence of one signaled an entire horde nearby. As predicted, outside the carriage was a horde of other three-eyed giant apes roaring in fury. Without hesitation, Xiao Yu summoned Galehound, deciding to join the fight to assist Qin Yan Ran. Qin Yan Ran strained to fend off the horde, frustrated by their sheer numbers. Suddenly, two more three-eyed giant apes lunged from behind, and a voice warned her to be careful. Shirao Xingyu shouted an order to Galehound in its evolved form. Hellbind, fiery chains erupted from Galehound, instantly binding the ape horde and preventing their escape. As the battle concluded, Qin Yan Ran looked at Xiao Yu and Galehound, who had reverted to its puppy form in surprise. Realizing he was also a beast tamer, she smiled and thanked him for his help, but Xiao Yu humbly replied that any beast tamer would have done the same. He looked closer and seriously asked Qin Yan Ran about the condition of her beast. Using his abilities, Shirao Xingyu clearly saw that the three-tailed thunder fox was suffering from psychological trauma after the battle and its treatment method. He accurately described the fox's symptoms, astonishing Qin Yan Ran, who asked how he knew. Xiao Yu lied, saying he read it in a book, secretly thinking he couldn't reveal his ability to see a beast's status. Qin Yan Ran was delighted to understand her beast's problem, and she excitedly patted Xiao Yu and LT, Unk and GT's back in thanks. She slung an arm around him intimately and declared that from now on, he would be her little brother. From the end of the carriage, Xiao Yu and LT, Unk and GT's sister approached, witnessing the intimate scene. Her face darkened, her blue eyes flashing with a possessive, angry gaze. With a polite smile, his sister approached and told Qin Yan Ran that Xiao Yu is no one's brother. She gently pulled Xiao Yu into her embrace and affirmed, "He is my brother." Qin Yan R and LT, Unk and GT's eyes narrowed challengingly at the declaration. She then grabbed Shirao Xingyu and LT, Unk and GT's other hand, which was dangling in confusion and flashed a mischievous smile. Qin Yan ran, pulled him towards her, stating that he was now her brother too, initiating a tug-of-war with his sister. Caught between his sister and Qin Yan ran, Xiaoyu cried out in distress as both pulled him in opposite directions. Later, in the central plaza of Azure Dragon Academy, Dean Linong welcomed all the new students. Amidst the crowd, Xiaoyu and other students were instructed to patiently await the principal. He thought to himself about parting ways with his sister and Qin Yan run to smoothly enroll. Suddenly, a roar echoed as a giant white lion with purple wings appeared in the sky. The students gasped in recognition, identifying it as Principal Su's purple flame lion. Su Dian, or Principal Su, rode atop her beast, soaring above the new students. The lion landed on the stage with imposing power. Su Aon dismounted from her beast. Lin Kong immediately handed her the microphone, inviting her to say a few words. Xiaoyu was stunned to realize she was the woman who had fought the shadow demon dragon before. Never expecting her to be the principal, Su Dian began her speech congratulating the students on their admission to the academy. She sternly declared that regardless of whether they came from powerful families or were commoners, they all had to abide by her rules, especially rule number 8. The students began to whisper amongst themselves, curious about this mysterious rule. The principal explained that rule number 8 stipulated that all conflicts must be resolved through a duel in the arena, with the loser apologizing to the winner. Xiaoyu realized that while strict, this rule ensured fairness, allowing ordinary students to seek justice with their fists. 2 hours after the opening ceremony in the classroom, another student pointed directly at Shirao Xingyu and growled, unable to believe they were in the same class. The classmate exclaimed in shock, recognizing Shirao Xingyu as the one with spiritual power nearly equal to senior Yaningguan. Just then, a man who appeared to be a teacher entered, sternly telling everyone to sit down to begin the lesson. Faced with the teacher's authority, the student remained frozen, while Shirao Xingyu had already settled into his seat. Suddenly, the other boy turned to Shirao Xingyu, his attitude changing 180 degrees, and declared that he would follow him from now on. The teacher cleared his throat to settle the class down, then wrote his name on the board, Chen Qinan. He introduced himself as the homeroom teacher and began the first lesson on companion beast theory. Chen Qinan explained that the strength of a spirit beast is determined by 2 factors. The first being the evolution stage. The known evolution stages include the infant stage, growth stage, complete stage, and transcendent stage. The second factor is the spirit beast bloodline quality, which is ranked from low to high. He emphasized that higher-level bloodlines naturally have a suppression effect on lower-level bloodlines. Furthermore, the spirit beast's attributes can also create mutual counter-effects, such as the mutual restraint of the 5 elements. Besides the basic 5 elements, there are other variant attributes like wind, thunder, and many others. While the lecture was still ongoing, the writing on the board gradually became blurry. Xiaoyu had fallen asleep without realizing it, a satisfied smile still on his lips. Chen Xin angrily threw a piece of chalk that hit Shirao Xingyu and LT, Unk and GT's head and shouted, demanding that he stand up. Just waking up, Xiaoyu stood up blankly and was questioned by the teacher about the weakness of the sky demon lizard. Chen Xinyan threatened that if he couldn't answer, Xiaoyu would be immediately expelled from the class. He repeated the question and the threat, declaring that the boy wouldn't need to come to class tomorrow. Contrary to expectations, Xia Xingyu flashed a confident smile and answered correctly the venom sac under its belly. Undeterred, Chun Xinyan continued by asking about the habitat of the ice vulture crocodile, and Xiaoyu answered correctly again, earning the admiration of his classmates. Deciding to test him further, Chun Xinyan presented a hypothetical situation about encountering a sky-ending tiger, and Xiaoyu replied that he would bite his ID card and find a shady spot to lie down. Both the teacher and the students were stunned by the bizarre answer, and Shun Xin had to ask for the reason. Xiaoyu explained that the sky-ending tiger is a king-level mutated spirit beast, and only beast masters level 6 or higher have a chance to fight it. Newcomers like them would surely die. He continued saying that biting the ID card was so his family could easily identify the body, and finding a shady spot was to slow down decomposition. Qin Xinyan was stunned by this answer, which was both practical and unexpected. He slammed his hand down on the desk and yelled, declaring that the answer deserved a perfect score, while revealing that he had been asking questions from later chapters. Xiaoyu smiled, held up several books, and said that he had already finished studying them all by himself. The other students in the class could only gape in astonishment, wondering what kind of prodigy monster he was. Chen Xin instructed the class to study independently, then called Xiaoyu to follow him privately. Upon reaching the hallway, Shirao Xingyu quickly apologized for falling asleep, but Chen Qinian dismissed it, saying that wasn't the issue. He expressed his astonishment that Xiaoying had mastered a whole semester's worth of theory in just half a class, and the quick-witted student replied that it was thanks to the teacher's excellent instruction. Chen Xin brushed off the flattery, saying that since the boy had finished the theoretical part, it was time to look into more advanced materials. With that, he handed Shirao Xingyu an Azure Dragon Academy library card. Xiao Xingyu was stunned as he took the card and learned that he could freely enter the library and borrow books for free. Chen Qinian patted the student's shoulder, saying that he had nothing left to teach him. The scene shifted to the vast library of the Azure Dragon Academy. One of the books Xiaoying chose was titled Penital Care for SOS. Despite that, Xiaoying still sat in the middle of the floor, surrounded by stacks of books engrossed in reading. Wang Yin, the vice principal and LT, Unk and GT's son, arrogantly entered the library with his followers and declared that the place belonged to him today. He haughtily chased all the male students out, completely ignoring Xiaoying, who was still sitting on the floor reading. Then Wang Yin turned to the female students with a sinister smile, demanding that they stay to study with him. A group of frightened female students huddled together, one of them speaking up to beg Wang Yin to spare them. The noise annoyed Xiaoying. He slammed the book shut and shouted loudly, demanding silence. The book flew straight into Wang Yin and LT, Unk and GT's head, leaving him dazed from the sudden impact. Wang Yin furiously yelled for the culprit, and one of his followers immediately pointed out Xiaoying. Xiaoying stood up to face him, criticizing Wang Yin and LT, Unk and GT's bullying behavior, but was scorned by him as someone who liked to play the hero. The rescued female student quickly pulled Xiaoying and LT, Unk and GT's arm, anxiously advising him to leave because he couldn't afford to offend the vice principal's son. Shirao Xingyu merely scoffed that his background explained his arrogance, which only made Wang Yin more smug. Provoked, Wang Yin flew into a rage, ordering Xiaoying to kneel and apologize immediately. Dream on. Xiaoying retorted with a punch straight to Wang Yin and LT, Unk and GT's face. Wang Yin fell sprawling on the floor, and his followers rushed over in panic to help him up. Still reeling, Wang Yin pointed, stammering as he asked the opponent if he knew who he was. He struggled to his feet with a resentful glare, roaring a threat that he wouldn't let Xiaoying leave the library alive. Xiaoying remained calm, challenging him back that today he would show him who truly had the final say at Azure Dragon Academy. Just then, an authoritative female voice rang out from the doorway, commenting on the boy's arrogant tone. Principal Su Jian appeared with teacher Chen Qinian sarcastically, remarking that she was unaware the academy had fallen under his control. Wang Yin turned pale, sweat pouring out as he recognized the principal, secretly terrified, wondering why she had arrived so quickly. Principal Su Dian declared that she understood the situation and would resolve the conflict according to Article 8 of the school regulations. The regulations stipulated that all conflicts between students must be resolved by a duel in the arena, where the loser must apologize to the winner. News of the duel between Xiaoying and Wang Yin quickly spread, and students flocked to the arena plaza to watch. One person worrying because Wang Yin and LT, Unk and GT's spirit beast was the six-clawed skinding leopard of legendary quality. While another student wondered if Xiaoying could win, his companion asserted that he was invincible. From afar, teacher Chen Qinian watched anxiously, secretly hoping Xiaoying wouldn't disappoint him. The referee invited both parties into the arena, and Wang Yin immediately hurled threats at Xiaoying. Wang Yin tightly gripped Xiaoying and LT, Unk and GT's hand in a threatening manner as a magic circle appeared behind him. Xiaoying merely smiled back, replying that he would wait for Wang Yin and LT, Unk and GT's apology, which infuriated Wang Yin. The referee announced that the match had officially begun. Wang Yin immediately acted, shouting loudly to summon his ice leopard within a frosty magic circle. A gigantic Lu Zoli Tian Bao, six-clawed sky-rending leopard with blue fur and blazing red eyes, appeared ferociously from the summoning circle. Xiaoying and LT, Unk and GT's eyes became bloodshot as he activated his analysis ability. An information panel appeared, revealing that Wang Yin and LT, Unk and GT's beast possessed legendary bloodline with dual ice and wind attributes. Shirao Xingyu was secretly astonished, realizing he was facing a rare dual attribute beast. Nevertheless, he confidently declared that it was his time to take the stage. Xiaoying summoned Heya, which appeared in the form of a gigantic wolf roaring amid streams of black and red energy. The observing students were all astonished by the beast's imposing appearance, believing it completely overwhelmed Wang Yin and LT, Unk and GT, S leopard. In terms of aura, a red energy barrier enveloped the arena where Xiao Xingyu and Wang Yin prepared to clash. Even Principal San watched intently, thinking to herself that she had never seen Xiao Yu and LT, Unk and GT, S beast before. Principal Sudian was surprised to realize that Xiao Yu and LT, Unk and GT, S beast was an evolved form of a galehound. Another female spectator was also stunned, wondering how Xiao Yu could evolve a beast that was generally considered useless. Wang Yin roared, claiming his opponent was just showing off, and swore to defeat him completely. Following the command, the Lu Xiaoli Tian Bao charged forward, unleashing the ice-splitting sky-ending claw technique. Shirao Xingyu calmly ordered Haya to use Serpent Step to evade. With astonishing speed, Haya easily glided past the sharp ice shards. The two beasts lunged at each other, sharp fangs clashing in a direct confrontation. Haya, despite being covered in frost, fiercely fought back using its fire energy. From a stance, teacher Chinchinan muttered an analysis of Haya and LT, Unk and GT, S dual wind-fire attributes and the Ice Leopard's ice-wind attributes. Teacher Chen realized that Haya was at a disadvantage in terms of attributes as the Ice Leopard swung its claws to attack. Wang Yin shouted loudly, ordering the Ice Leopard to unleash its full power to Xiao Yu and LT, Unk and GT, S beast. The Ice Leopard unleashed its ultimate skill, Skybreaker, creating a massive icy storm that swallowed Haya. Immediately, Haya was completely frozen inside a solid block of ice. The wolf's entire body was imprisoned within a thick layer of ice. Unable to move, Wang Yin laughed triumphantly, mocking Xiao Yu that his beast would soon freeze to death. Principal Sudian and teacher Qinshin looked down anxiously, wondering what Xiao Yu would do. Contrary to expectations, Xiao Yu merely smirked confidently. He shouted an order for Haya to use the fierce devouring Fong and Night Walker skills, causing the block of ice to crack from within due to a stream of blazing red energy. The block of ice shattered, but Haya had vanished without a trace, leaving everyone stunned. Both Chun Qinan and Sudian were astonished, not expecting the Hell Wolf to possess the dark attribute. On the field, Wang Yin searched frantically, wondering where he had disappeared to. Suddenly, Hai Yao appeared from above, diving down to attack the bewildered Wang Yin, revealing that the frozen object was merely a shadow clone. The Lu Xiaoli Tian Bao rushed out in time to intercept the blow, and the two beasts collided violently right in front of Wang Yin. Shirao Xingyu stood tall alongside Heya, declaring that he would show his opponent their true power. Ekemandith, Heya, Sailin Klo. And the wolf dashed away at terrifying speed. The Lu Xiaoli Tian Bao couldn't dodge in time and immediately suffered a critical hit. It was continuously attacked by invisible claw streaks, while Wang Yin could only scream in helplessness. From afar, Sudian realized that the silent claw skill had inflicted a silence effect, completely neutralizing Wang Yin and LT, Unk and GT, S-Beast. Xiao Yu raised his hand, deciding to unleash the finishing blow to end the match. Ischautit, Heya, Hedor. And a destructive energy sphere formed in the wolf's mouth. A massive stream of power was fired, engulfing the helpless Lu Jiatian Bao. Wang Yin and LT, Unk and GT, S-Beast was blasted away, having completely lost its ability to fight. The referee immediately raised Xiao Yu and LT, Unk and GT, S-Hand and declared him the winner. The crowd of students erupted in cheers, excitedly, calling out Shirao Xingyu and LT, Unk and GT, S-Name. Wang Yin knelt on the arena floor, muttering in shock that this was impossible. Shirao Xingyu walked up to him and coldly stated, "You lost." Just then, Principal Sudan appeared, demanding that Wang Yin apologize according to school regulations to end this farce. Her stern gaze clearly displayed undeniable authority. Wang Yin gritted his teeth in extreme fury. Under Xiao Yu and LT, Unk and GT, S gaze, he was forced to bow and apologize. Nevertheless, Wang Yin secretly harbored thoughts of revenge while Shirao Xingyu left with the principal. Sudian praised Xiao Yu, saying he was the second student to impress her and looked forward to his performance in the freshman ranking competition in 3 days. Xiao Yu thanked her for the compliment, and then curiously asked about the first person who had caught the principal's attention. Sudian revealed that it was a young genius with spiritual power exceeding 1,000 named Yang Ning. Shirao Xingyu suddenly remembered hearing that name during the entrance examination. To To reward his talent, Sudian presented a spatial ring as a victory prize. Xiao Xingyu was completely astonished by the unexpected gift. It was a spatial ring, a high-tech storage device that could hold everything a beast tamer needed. He happily accepted the precious gift from the principal. Xiao Xingyu thanked Sudian once more as the ring rested in his palm. Leaving the Azure Dragon Academy gates, he thought of his sister waiting at home and hurried back. He strode down the road home with a determined expression. Suddenly, a little girl with blue hair bumped right into Xiaoyu. He quickly caught the stunned child and asked if she was all right. After telling the little girl to be careful next time, Xiaoyu gently patted her head. Unexpectedly, the child suddenly hugged his leg, pleading that she had nowhere else to go and begging him to take her in. Meanwhile, in the family dormitory area, Yang Ning was excited about her first day moving to Liyin City. As soon as he got home, Xiaoyu was grabbed by his sister and interrogated for daring to kidnap a child. He quickly explained that it was a misunderstanding, but his sister was still furious. A few minutes later, when everyone had calmed down, Xiaoyu explained that the little girl's name was Xiang, and she had run away from home because she was afraid of beasts and had been abused by her family. He said he only wanted to help Xiang overcome her fear. Shermang also begged Xingyu and LT, Unk and GT's sister, whom the girl called Ru, to let her stay, and Xiao Ru relented and agreed. However, she adopted a serious expression and said, but Xiao Ru and LT, Unk and GT's suddenly issued a cryptic warning, instructing her brother never to choose a woman from the Ye family. Meanwhile, at the Azure Dragon Academy, teacher Qinchin Yin was holding an attack test for the students. His sister's warning still lingered in Xiaoyu and LT, Unk and GT's mind. A friend named Wu Shong Yo curiously asked about the Ye family, but Xiaoyu deflected the conversation to the lesson about battlefield positioning. He explained that beast tamers needed to coordinate according to different roles and positions in battle. The roles illustrated included the long-range attacking marksman and the area control mage. Another beast tamer and his giant white bear were shown. The tank role was illustrated by a beast with spiky armor. Next were the mobile assassin role and the support role, which enhances ally strength. Finally, the image of a giant, glowing butterfly appeared. Wu Xinyo seemed to understand and excitedly asked which position his storm butterfly was suited for. Just then, teacher Chen Chenyan appeared and sternly reminded Wang Yo not to talk during class. Teacher Chen Chenyan solemnly announced the start of the test to determine the combat position for each student. The first person was Songhu. With his giant bull beast possessing strong defense, he was assigned the tank role. Next, Wang Yo and LT, Unk and GT's storm butterfly demonstrated its area of effect attack capability, leading him to be identified as a mage. Then, it was Shirao Xingyu and LT, Unk and GT's turn, and he confidently stepped forward. Teacher Chun Chinian asked if he was ready for the first attack power test. Xiaoyu calmly signaled to begin, and he immediately appeared in its powerful combat form. At its master's command, he unleashed the Hell Roar, creating a terrifying explosion. The system panel appeared announcing that this was a critical hit with a triple damage multiplier effect. The final damage number displayed was 6,371, an unbelievable figure. The other students were stunned, one exclaiming in shock that he could only achieve 1.5 times the damage. Teacher Qin Xinyan was also dumbfounded, thinking to himself that this power far exceeded the standard for a starter beast. Xiaoyu asked if he was suited for the assassin role, but the teacher cut him off. Chun Xinyan asked him to continue, secretly wanting to see the limit of this student's potential. In a long-range test, Ha fired a stream of hellfire that traveled 800 meters, prompting Wang Yo to suggest he become a marksman. During the defense test, Ha easily withstood the attacks, causing Wang Yo to admire him once again. In the control test, he summoned Chains of Hell, leading Wang Yo to suggest he should be a mage again. Finally, the enhancement test showed that Ha could boost the strength of allies within a 10-meter radius. Wu Shangyo and the other students were confused and asked the teacher, as Shirao Xing, you seemed capable of handling every position. With a meaningful expression, Cheney declared that there was one special role that truly suited Xiaoyu. Shirao Xingyu, a beast tamer with the title All-Rounder. At the academy, Wu Wenyo curiously asked Teacher Chun about the meaning of that title. Teacher Chen Xinan explained that All-Rounder is a title for beast tamers whose companion beasts excel in all combat roles. He smiled and affirmed that Xiaoyu was the only all-rounder among the new students. This news made Xiaoyu the center of attention among his classmates. Wu Xingyo and the others surrounded him, endlessly praising his talent. Faced with everyone's admiration, Xiaoing Yu could only awkwardly scratch his head. Teacher Chen reminded them that while rare, all-rounders were not unheard of, and Xiaoing Yu was merely the only one among the current batch of new students. He also named outstanding second- and third-year students like Yang Ning to encourage them. At the end of class, Teacher Chun encouraged all students to continue working hard. After class, Xiaoing Yu walked alone on the familiar path. He planned to buy some nutritional supplements for his companion beast to prepare for the upcoming ranking competition. Suddenly, a group of people led by Wang Yin blocked his path. Shirao Xing Yu cautiously asked for the identities of the strangers. The muscular leader smugly introduced them as members of the Black Tiger Guild and claimed Xiaoing Yu was looking for trouble. Wang Yin ordered the leader, President Lei, to break one of Xiaoing Yu and LT, Unk and GT's legs. President Lei and his cronies surrounded and threatened Xiaoing Yu for daring to provoke young Master Wang. Xiaoing Yu realized his opponents were all 3-star and 4-star beast tamers. He coldly questioned, "Are you strong-arming a 1-star beast tamer like me?" Wang Yin arrogantly admitted it while President Lei sneered, ready to act on behalf of his master. President Lei summoned his Thunder Tiger beast. Xiaoing Yu also ordered his companion beast to charge. Gale Hound lunged forward, biting firmly onto Thunder Tiger Beast's neck, much to the opponent's astonishment. With glowing red eyes, Gale Hound completely gained the upper hand. The giant wolf easily knocked Thunder Tiger Beast to the ground. President Lei was stunned, unable to believe that Xiaoing Yu and LT, Unk and GT, as companion beast was so powerful. He wondered in shock how a Wind Hunter Hound could suppress a Thunder Tiger Beast. Enraged, President Lei decided to personally deal with the 1-star rookie. He and the Black Tiger Guild members summoned more companion beasts, intending to overwhelm them with numbers. A pack of tigers growled, ready to charge and attack on command. Suddenly, a voice rang out, challenging the might of the Black Tiger Guild. Qin Yan Ran appeared with members of the Celestial Guild, declaring her superiority. Shirao Xingyu and Gale Hound stood with the newcomers, and the situation completely changed. He joyfully exclaimed when he realized the person who arrived was Sister Qin. The Black Tiger Guild members panicked, realizing they had been surrounded by the Celestial Guild. President Lei was dumbfounded. Realizing he was facing the second strongest guild in Lion City, he immediately changed his attitude, obsequiously asking Qin Yan Ran why she was there. Qin Yan Ran put her arm around Shirao, singing you called him her younger brother, and questioned President Lei. She boldly declared that Shirao Xingyu was a recognized sworn younger brother. With sharp eyes, Qin Yan Ran warned that anyone who bullied him was going against her. Faced with the power of the Celestial Guild, President Lei of the Black Tiger Guild trembled. He hastily waved his hand, stammering that it was all just a misunderstanding. A Black Tiger Guild member immediately betrayed them, pointing at Wang Yin and accusing him of being the mastermind. Exposed, Wang Yin frantically explained that he had no intention of targeting Xiao Xingyu. Qin Yan Ran coldly ordered President Lei, telling him he knew what to do. Immediately, the Black Tiger Guild members turned to attack Wang Yin, even as he screamed in despair. Afterward, at the Celestial Guild headquarters, Qin Yan Ran asked Xiaoing Yu why he got into trouble. When she learned he was buying supplements for his companion beast, she confidently said he only needed to ask her. She generously offered to provide them to him for free, astonishing Shirao Xingyu when he learned she was the guild master's only daughter. Qin Yan Ran then began to give him a tour of the guild's state-of-the-art training facility. She showed him the luxurious recreation area where beast tamers could relax after missions. Next was the strategic meeting room on the top floor where they planned important missions. Finally, she introduced the medical area equipped with advanced technology and rare herbs. Most importantly, she emphasized the skilled team of beast tamer doctors specializing in treating injured companion beasts. Hearing this, Xiaoing Yu immediately took her hand, earnestly asking if he could join the guild as a beast tamer doctor. A sharp female voice suddenly rang out from somewhere, decisively refusing. Vice President Lu Yua appeared, crossing her arms and looking at Xiaoing Yu with skepticism, deeming his request ridiculous. Qin Yan Ran quickly explained to Lua that this was the person who helped her on the train and was her sworn younger brother. Suddenly, a staff member rushed over to report to Lu Yui that the medical area had just received several severely injured companion beasts. The staff member frantically said that they were short-staffed and didn't know what to do. A staff member urgently reported to Luya that the demon beasts were severely injured and couldn't hold on much longer, so Xiaoing Yu volunteered to handle it. He firmly told Lu Yua that there wasn't much time left. Inside the Celestial Guild, medical staff were rushing to push an injured demon beast on a stretcher. They announced that the green-eyed mastiff on operating table number 3 was losing a critical amount of blood and urgently needed a backup blood bag. The beast's owner frantically shouted, asking everyone to quickly make way. He desperately pleaded with the doctor to quickly save his demon beast. The medical team was helpless as conventional hemostatic measures had no effect. A doctor admitted that traditional hemostasis methods were completely ineffective. Xiaoyu narrowed his eyes, activating his analytical ability. The system panel appeared, revealing that the wound was caused by the venom of the golden beetle queen, preventing it from healing naturally. He explained that the greenish mucus was the special toxin preventing the healing process. Xiaoyu told the owner that he had a way to stop the bleeding, and the owner immediately begged him for help. He recited a prescription consisting of various poisonous herbs and a poison-type demon beast core, astonishing the doctors. Shurao Xingyu sternly warned that if they missed the golden opportunity, the green-eyed mastiff would surely die. Hearing the sharp urging, the doctors hastily ran off to find the ingredients. 5 minutes later, a doctor breathlessly returned with the freshly prepared medicine bottle. Shurao Xingyu calmly put on a pair of blue medical gloves. He took the medicine bottle, preparing to begin the treatment. He carefully applied the medicinal solution directly to the oozing wound. The green-eyed mastiff let out a resounding roar as its body emitted a powerful healing light. Under the medicine's effect, the demon beast's wound stopped bleeding and began to heal rapidly. Xiaoyu proudly declared that he had saved the animal and asked Vice President Liu if she was satisfied. Deeply impressed, Liu Yue admitted she had underestimated him and formally invited him to join the Celestial Guild as a special pharmacist. Xiaoyu happily accepted the offer and shook her hand. Upon returning home, he was immediately questioned by his older sister, Xia Ruako, about why he was late after signing the contract. Xiaoyu timidly confessed to his sister. Xiao Ruer sadly asked if he had found his sworn sister and forgotten his real sister, causing Xiaoyu to hastily deny it. Afterwards, Shurong innocently asked about his new job, and Xiaoyu explained that he would be paid. He happily promised to treat everyone to a lavish meal on the weekend, making Xiang cheer excitedly. Meanwhile, in his private room, Wang Yin was lying on his bed with an injured leg. He furiously screamed Xiaoyu and LT, Unk and GT's name, vowing to make him pay. Wang Yin tearfully begged his father, Wang Rang, to help him get revenge, but was only scolded as useless. Wang Rangshang was furious that his son had disgraced the family by losing to an unknown individual. Wang Yin sobbed, explaining that he hadn't expected Xiaoyu to possess a 3-attribute demon beast. He was also afraid because Xiaoyu now had the Celestial Guild backing him, a power that even Wang Rangshan admitted they couldn't afford to offend. However, Wang Rangshang flashed a sinister smile, planning for Xiaoyu to die in an accident during the upcoming Yinan Mountain trial. At Yinan Mountain, the trial for new students officially began and was announced to be broadcast live. Wang Rangsheng explained the rules, stating that the students' bracelets would record the entire combat process. The performance leaderboard based on the number of demon beasts eliminated was announced with the highest rank being S+ 480 kills or more. A female teacher suggested that Vice Principal Wang announce the identities of this batch's all-rounders before starting. A man on stage announced that among this year's new students, 3 were all-rounders. The first was Murim Yang Xiao from Class 1, the eldest son of the Murim family. The second was also from Class 1, Murim Xing Xin, astonishing the other students because both came from the Murim family. The last all-rounder was Shurao Xingyu from Class 3. He silently repeated the name of the Murim family. He recalled that there were 4 great beast tamer families in China, among them the Murim family. Meanwhile, at the Academy's broadcasting station, a group of commentators was ready for the live coverage. Host Yongshu introduced himself and began commenting on the trial. A female teacher asked Vice Principal Wang Rangshang to predict how many demon beasts Xiaoyu would kill, and he replied that 50 was already a very high number. Chun Chinyan immediately objected, believing that with Xiaoyu and LT, Unk and GT's talent, he would achieve at least 80 kills. Another blue-haired female commentator even believed he would break Ye Wang Ning and LT, Unk and GT's record and create a miracle. The trial officially began, and the new students entered the challenge area one by one. In less than half an hour, Class 2 had eliminated a short-tailed bear, bringing their total kills to 10. Sun Tianhao from Class 5 also performed exceptionally with his kill count surpassing 20. Most astonishingly, after just 1 hour, Murim Yang Xiao had single-handedly eliminated 43 demon beasts, earning the admiration of the other female students. Commentator Yong Shu explained that his white griffin was the only psychic demon beast with the ability to penetrate space. The white griffin easily overwhelmed a silver-fanged snake, which originally possessed strong regenerative abilities. At its master's command, it quickly finished off its prey. Murim Yong Shao calmly approached to collect the demon beast's crystal core. The leaderboard unexpectedly appeared. Murim Shinshin led with 50 kills, followed by Murim Yong Shou with 49 and Xiaoing Yu with 48. After Murim Yong Shou and LT, Unk and GT's performance, all attention now turned to Murim Shinshin, who was facing a skeletal dragon. All attention was on Murim Shinshin and her legendary tier skeletal dragon beast. Their target was the Bloodthirst Lion, an epic tier rank 2 beast with immense attack power. Commentator Yang Shu announced that if Muang Shinshin defeated it, she would reach a total of 51 kills. Muang Yangsha looked at the leaderboard and confidently believed his sister would secure the top spot. But then he gasped in shock as he saw someone had surpassed Muang's sins. A minute ago, Muang Shinshin and LT, Unk and GT's skeletal dragon beast was circling above the Bloodthirst Lion. The skeletal beast unleashed a destructive purple energy stream towards its prey. Muang Shinshin smiled triumphantly, believing she had gained another kill. Suddenly, she noticed something and screamed in panic. Heya, attack! Xiaoing Yu and LT, Unk and GT, as Heya rushed in, snatching the kill right from under her nose. At a place called Yinan Mountain, Shirao Xingyu rode on Heya's back, facing Muang Shinshin. He casually thanked Muang Shinshin for letting him have the kill. Muang Shinshin was stunned with rage, a string of curses flooding her mind. Yangshu announced that Shirao Xingyu had successfully stolen the kill and taken the first place. Suddenly, the ground shook and a giant three-eyed demon ant emerged from underground. Yang Su sensed the intense desire to win from both contestants. He posed the question of who would defeat this demon ant. Xiaoing Yu made the first move, ordering Heya to use hellish restraint. Heya and LT, Unk and GT's fiery chains bound the ant, dealing true damage that bypassed its tough defenses. Xiaoing Yu decisively ordered Heya to finish the monster. Heya roared, unleashing hellish roar directly at the demon ant. Unexpectedly, Muang Shinshin ordered her beast to attack, unleashing a gale slash that cut through Heya and LT, Unk and GT's attack. Immediately after, her skeletal dragon spat out cold fire, successfully finishing off the three-eyed demon ant. A glowing red beast core fell from the defeated monster's body. Muang Shinshin picked up the loot, prompting Xiaoing Yu to comment on her lingering animosity. Commentator Yang Shu excitedly announced that with the stolen kill, Muang Shinshin had tied the score at 51 kills with Shirao crossing Yu. With only an hour left in the trial, the race for the championship became incredibly intense. Elsewhere, Shirao Xingyu signaled Heya to prepare to attack a giant porcupine beast. The porcupine beast growled, ready to defend itself against its predators. But then they met again, Muang Shinshin and Xiaoxing Yu once more targeting the same prey. It seemed Muang Shinshin was determined to follow Xiaoing Yu to the end, putting them both in an awkward situation. Half an hour passed, and Yongshu shouted that Muang Shinshin had taken the lead with 89 kills due to her aggressive kill-stealing tactics. Shirao Xingyu appeared tired, asking Muang Shinshin if she really needed to follow him so closely, but only received a cold snort in return. On the live broadcast, viewers excitedly discussed Muang Shinshin and LT, Unk and GT's talent and bravery. Finally, Shirao Xingyu declared through the screen that he would start fighting seriously, astonishing the commentators. With only half an hour left, Xiaoing Yu summoned Flame Lion as well, and together with Heya, they charged at breakneck speed. As time ticked away, both rivals broke the trial's record in their relentless hunt. The competition was so fierce that they faced countless powerful beasts together. Muang Shinshin challenged Xiaoing Yu as she lunged towards a flying beast. Confident he couldn't steal her aerial target, but she was wrong. A surprise attack from Xiaoing Yu and LT, Unk and GT's side down the flying beast before she could even make a move. After Xiaoing Yu stole the kill, Muang Shinshin angrily shouted, "Thief!" She glared at Xiaoing Yu as the commentator announced he was about to win. Shirao Xingyu looked annoyed, thinking to himself if that was all she knew how to say. Suddenly, a giant lava lion beast emerged from behind the rocks. It roared, facing both groups of contestants. Xiao Xingyu was horrified to realize it was a perfect tier rank 3 beast. He was thrown off Heya and LT, Unk and GT's back by the monster's power. The lava lion charged directly at Xiaoyu with terrifying speed. Xiaoyu and LT, Unk and GT's eyes flashed with determination mixed with surprise. Both he and Heiyu were sent flying into the air by a powerful energy blast. Murang Xingxin screamed Shirao Xingyu and LT, Unk and GT's name in horror. He was flung off the cliff, barely managing to cling to a branch. Muang Xinxin quickly extended her hand, urging him to grab it while the beasts were still fighting. While dangling, Xiaoyu was shocked to see Wang Yin standing on a nearby ledge. The branch under his weight began to crack. It snapped, and Xiaoyu fell into the abyss before Muang Xinxin and LT, Unk and GT's despairing eyes. Meanwhile, at the broadcast station, Chun Xin and Wang Rangshang were monitoring the situation. Chen Xinan worriedly suggested to the principal that he be allowed to go rescue the student, but Sudian reassured him that she would handle it. As the principal and teacher Chun left to organize a rescue, Wang Rangshang remained alone. The vice principal smirked sinisterly, pleased that his plan to frame the genius had succeeded. At the bottom of the Yinan mountain cliff lies a dense and humid forest. Shirao Xingyu slowly regained consciousness, unable to believe he was still alive. Fury ignited as he recalled Wang Yin and LT, Unk and GT's sinister smile. He angrily ran his hands through his hair, vowing to never forgive that bastard. Then he was stunned to realize he was on top of Galehound. He was heartbroken to learn that Galehound had used its body as a cushion to save him. Without hesitation, Shirao Xingyu took out a bottle of nourishing medicine. He carefully gave it to Galehound, hoping it would ease his companion's pain. Just then, a heavy rain suddenly poured down on the forest. Shirao Xingyu struggled to carry Galehound on his back. Determined to find shelter, he quickly discovered a cave and brought Galehound inside. Standing at the cave entrance, he looked at the rain and wondered when it would stop. Xiaoyu began to worry, thinking his sister must be very anxious. He also remembered the moment Muang Xinxin tried to save him and wondered if she was all right. Suddenly, a strange noise echoed from deep within the cave's darkness. Xiaoyu startled, becoming alert, realizing someone else was there. Immediately, a hand from behind grabbed his throat. A woman with beast ears, full of rage, squeezed him, threatening to kill him for seeing her face. Caught off guard, Xiaoyu and LT, Unk and GT's eyes blazed with a blue light. A system interface appeared, revealing the attacker was a king-tier beast named Ninetails. Ninetails was surprised that Xiaoyu knew her identity, but he admitted he was no match for a king-tier beast. Deciding she couldn't let him live, Ninetails tightened her grip, but Xiaoyu quickly told her to stop. He suddenly revealed, "You were injured by a pure-blooded dragon. You'll surely die within half an hour." Ninetails was stunned, not understanding how a human could know her secret. Seizing the moment of her confusion, Xiaoyu took the opportunity, firmly gripping her wrist. A mysterious seal glowed brightly on the back of his hand. He used the seal to push directly into Ninetails, catching her by surprise. Utilizing the power, Xiaoyu shoved the king-tier beast away. He explained that since he knew she was Ninetails, knowing about her injury was not strange while she coughed up blood. The system interface confirmed Ninetails was severely injured, and Shirao Xingyu thought to himself that he had to calm her down first. With a determined expression, Shirao Xingyu declared, "I can save you." Ninetails was skeptical, thinking a one-star beastmaster like him couldn't heal her. She weakly explained her injury was caused by a pure-blooded dragon, and even the best human doctors were helpless. "It's not difficult," Shirao Xingyu replied confidently. "I can save you." But he set a condition, asking Ninetails to sign a blood pact to ensure her safety after he saved her. Outside, the rain continued to pour down at the dark cave entrance. Ninetails became enraged, roaring that an emperor like her would never submit to being a beast for a brat. Xiaoyu remained unfazed, firmly stating, "That's right. Do you want to die?" Ninetails screamed in utter fury. She lunged to attack Xiaoyu again, her hand glowing with demonic energy. With his throat constricted, Shirao Xingyu warned that if he died, she wouldn't survive either. Ninetails gritted her teeth, struggling internally with the thought of obeying a human. Intense pain struck her, causing her to cough, the dragon's power ravaging her body from within. Xiaoyu pointed out that the dragon's power had infiltrated her core and urged her to sign the blood pact before it was too late. "No!" Ninetails screamed in despair. She couldn't die as she still had her sister's mission to complete. Her hand, which had been constricting Shirao Xingyu and LT, Unk and GT's throat, finally loosened. Exhausted, Ninetails reluctantly agreed. "Fine, I will sign a blood pact with you." Xiaoyu began the ritual, biting his finger and declaring. Then from this moment on, fresh blood dripped from his fingertip. He pressed his bloody finger onto her forehead, completing the pact. "You are my beast." Under the command of Xiaoyu, Ninetails mumbled his name and immediately demanded to be healed as promised. Xiaoyu assured her he would protect her and began to unbutton his shirt, causing Ninetails to panic and asked what he was doing. He coldly replied that this was to heal her, holding a dagger. With that, Shirao Xingyu plunged the dagger into his own chest to draw blood. He pointed to the bleeding wound and urged Ninetails to drink quickly. Ninetails blushed and vehemently objected, stating that a great emperor like her would never do such a thing. Xiaoyu pulled her closer, shouting that only his heart's blood could protect her core. Disregarding all pride, Ninetails closed her eyes and accepted her fate. She lowered her head and began to lick the blood flowing from the wound on his chest to save her core. Ninetails felt a surge of power enveloping her body. Xiaoyu announced that her injuries were stable and asked for her name, asserting that he was now her master. She coldly replied that the great empress's name was Dao. Dao turned back and sternly asked Xiaoyu a question in return. She questioned how he knew her injuries were caused by dragon power. Xiaoyu thought to himself that Dao and LT, Unk and GT's connection to the extinct dragon clan was not simple, and perhaps she knew his secret. He decided not to hide it, explaining that 2 months ago his eyes had been infused with dragon blood. Since then, when he focuses his consciousness, he can see an information panel about the beasts, just like a system. He explained that it was thanks to that information panel that he knew about her injuries. While Dao was astonished, realizing those eyes were exactly like the legendary demon god's eye. She deduced that the demon god's eye could see through all beasts. But this power was only inherited by the dragon clan's demon god. A human could not possess it. Dao stared intently at Xiaoyu, wondering about his true identity, making him confused by her silence. After consideration, she accepted that he was her master, and if it truly was the demon god's eye, it could benefit her. Dao smiled and told Shirao Xingyu that he had hit the jackpot. She explained that his eyes might have mutated due to the dragon blood, transforming into the legendary demon god's eye, leaving Xingyu stunned. Dao scoffed at the idea of a system, saying he should read fewer novels and that the data panel was merely an external manifestation of the demon god's eye. Xiaoyu remained skeptical, wondering why he had once heard it speak. He recalled a mysterious voice that had instructed him to pick up a crystal to awaken his beast bloodline. He recounted that the first time was after the Shadow Demon Dragon attack, when it guided him to find the crystal for Blackblade. And later, during the Azure Dragon Academy trial, he fed Blackblade that bloodline awakening crystal. Shirao Xingyu recalled Blackblade evolving into the Hellgale Wolf and passing the Academy trial. He mused, wondering when he would hear the system's voice again. Suddenly, a fierce roar echoed, interrupting his train of thought. Standing in front of Xiaoyu and Dao was a gigantic, fiery lava lion tiger beast blocking the cave entrance. The monster lunged to attack, and Dao quickly shouted to calm the stunned Xiaoyu. Both were cornered inside a damp cave. Xiaoyu realized in horror that this was the same lava lion tiger beast that had pushed him off the cliff. He hadn't expected it to chase him all the way here. The beast swung a devastating paw strike, sending Shirao Xingyu flying. He tumbled onto the ground, clutching his chest in pain. Facing the growling monster, Xiaoyu could only curse silently in despair. Suddenly, streams of purple energy shot out, attacking the lava lion tiger beast. Xiaoyu watched the scene before him in astonishment. Dao, despite being injured, stood up and radiated a terrifying demonic aura, declaring that no one could provoke the Empress. The lava lion tiger beast roared back, completely unfazed by her imposing presence. A fierce energy explosion occurred as the two sides clashed. However, Dao was quickly overwhelmed and pinned tightly to the ground by the beast's paw. Humiliated, Dao roared in utter fury. She poured all her strength into her eyes, activating an ultimate skill. Heaven's true eye, Dao roared, unleashing the full power from her eyes, creating a massive energy sphere that engulfed the lava lion tiger beast. Inside a dark cave, the exhausted Xiaoyu looked at the shrunken and unconscious Dao, thinking to himself that although they were safe, he was far from okay. Before losing consciousness, he heard Dao desperately calling his name. Xiaoyu woke up in a cosmic space where a giant dragon announced that this was the space of consciousness. The dragon revealed that his power was the demon god's eye, causing Shirao Xingyu to panic and wonder who was speaking. He questioned the identity of the mysterious entity, and it replied that it was the one who guided the evolution of his beast. Xiao Yu was stunned, realizing this was the voice that had guided him to find the bloodline Awakening Crystal. The dragon explained that it was awakened by bloodline power, but couldn't remember who it was, which made Xiao Yu think back to the dragon blood. It promised to help him achieve ultimate glory. But Xiao Yu was skeptical about what an amnesiac could do. To prove it, the dragon showed him Black Blade System panel, making Xiao Yu realize that what he saw was not a game system. Through a mental dialogue, the dragon explained that it could appear because Xiao Yu had grown stronger after contracting with two beasts. When Xiao Yu asked how he got there, the dragon said it took advantage of his unconscious state to meet him and that it was time for him to wake up. Xiao Yu and LT, Unk and GT's figure began to fade. He quickly asked when they would meet again and received a promise that it would always be by his side. Xiao Yu opened his eyes, found himself in the hospital, and wondered what had happened. Principal Su Yan and teacher Chen Qinan walked in, delighted to see him awake, and said they had been very worried. He asked how he escaped the cave, and Su Yan explained that the rescue team found him unconscious. She looked at him searchingly, mentioning that they found the corpse of a lava lion tiger beast not far away, and asked if he knew anything. Xiao Yu feigned innocence, saying he was unconscious, and asked in return if she suspected a one-star beast tamer like him could kill it. Su Yan reluctantly set aside her suspicion and promised the academy would investigate thoroughly, while Xiao Yu happily expressed his absolute trust in her. Qinshin announced that Xiao Yu and Murang Xinshin had both achieved rank, breaking the academy record, and then instructed him to rest up for the ranking competition. As soon as the principal and teacher left, Xiao Yu clenched his hand, and the beast mark on the back of his hand began to glow. Ninetales suddenly materialized from the beast mark, startling Xiao Yu. She crossed her arms and asked where he had run off to. She scolded the boy for recklessly using his heart blood to supply her, explaining that was why he was exhausted and passed out. Ninetales recounted that when the rescue team arrived, she had to hide to avoid being discovered by humans. She turned to question Xiao Yu, skeptical of his words, to the principal that falling off the cliff was just an accident. Xiao Yu smirked, thinking to himself, an accident? I knew who the mastermind was from the very beginning. With determined eyes, he swore he wouldn't let them get away with it this time. Meanwhile, in his private office, Wang Yin was leisurely sitting on the sofa, but the peace quickly vanished when he frantically screamed for his father after seeing something on his phone. Wang Yin rushed to his father, Wang Yongshan, but was coldly told by him to calm down. He frantically showed his father the phone, delivering the shocking news that Xiao Yu was still alive. Wang Yin feared Xiao Yu would seek revenge with the backing of the Celestial Guild, but Wang Yongshan casually denied any involvement. The vice principal confidently stated that even if Xiao Yu had suspicions, there was no evidence against them. When asked about the next plan, Wang Yongshan firmly declared that they would do nothing. But then his expression turned sinister as he whispered the latter part of the plan, not stopping until Xiao Yu was dead. Wang Yongshan thrust a glowing object into his son's hand, ordering Wang Yin to eliminate him himself. At the same time, at the family apartment, night had fallen. As soon as Xiao Yu returned to his room, his phone rang. It was a call from his friend Wu Shangyu. Wu Shangyu yelled through the phone, overjoyed that Xiao Yu was alive and had won first place in the competition. Smiling at everyone's concern, Xiao Yu recalled that even Yayuang Ning had been by his side in the hospital. He suddenly paid attention when Wu Shangyu mentioned that the freshman ranking competition had been postponed. Wu Shangyu explained that his disappearance had caused a stir, forcing the school to postpone everything to search for him. The ranking competition was the most important annual event of Azure Dragon Academy. Freshmen would draw lots to determine the order of competition, vying for the top 3 overall. Wu Shangyu excitedly said that this was a fierce battle that would determine the future of the freshmen. After telling his friend to rest, Xiao Yu ended the call. He looked at his phone screen, pondering the upcoming ranking competition. He understood that to unleash a beast's skills, a beast tamer must provide sufficient spiritual energy. The higher a beast's level, the more spiritual energy it demands. Xiao Yu was determined to avoid being drained of energy by Ninetales like last time. To destroy the Wang family, he knew he had to rely on Ninetales' power. But using her skills consumed too much energy, making him anxious to find a way to increase his strength before the competition. Lying on his bed, Xiao Yu had a bold idea to ask it. He entered his consciousness space, facing the mysterious dragon entity, standing amidst the brilliant light. Xiao Yu was ready for the conversation. The dragon entity's colossal eye opened, questioning if he was trying to take a shortcut. Xiao Yu confidently smiled back, reasoning that with such a powerful ally, why wouldn't he take advantage of it? The dragon entity agreed, stating that as long as Xiao Yu helped it recover its memories, it would help him in return, and he joyfully accepted the agreement. It explained that to communicate, he needed deep meditation, and it had created a control panel based on human game systems. It pointed to the shop section where Xiao Yu could purchase necessary items. To ensure he wouldn't be lazy, it would assign periodic tasks through the system, and Xia Yu eagerly looked at the rewards. His finger scrolled through the interface and stopped at a red elixir called Dragon Spirit Pill. The information panel appeared, describing that the Dragon Spirit Pill could increase spiritual power tenfold for 5 minutes, but would then cause weakness. Xiao Yu held the pill in his hand, and the dragon warned him to be careful of the side effects, considering it a first-time gift. It instructed him on the incantation to summon the system and requested not to be disturbed unless it was an emergency. Shao Yu agreed to let the dragon entity rest. Its colossal eye slowly closed, carrying a final thought full of expectation. Returning to reality outside the apartment complex, Xiao Yu greeted his sister before heading to school. Shao told him to be careful, while Xiang also wished her brother a safe journey. Xiao Yu walked briskly down the road, thinking to himself that today was the freshman ranking competition, and wondering if Wang Yu remembered him. Suddenly, he stopped, staring in astonishment at the paper in his hand. It was a wanted poster for the Nine-Tails Fox with a reward of 3 billion for stealing a golden core, and the person in the picture was Nine-Tails. Just then, Wang Yu called, shouting through the phone, urging everyone to support Xiao Yu and LT, Unk and GT's return. Xiao Yu grimaced, holding the phone away, thinking his ears were about to go deaf from his friend shouting. The scene shifted to a deserted alley. Xiao Yu cornered Nine-Tails against the wall, angrily questioning, "Nine Eatles, are you deceiving me?" Xiao Yu angrily questioned Nine-Tails, holding up the wanted poster. "Why didn't you tell me you were wanted by the royal family?" He emphasized that this was a wanted order from the queen herself, but Nine-Tails challenged him back, telling him to go ahead and turn her in for the reward if he regretted it. Xiao Yu seriously stated, "Nine-Tails, I am your master now. I hope you will trust me." Faced with his sincerity, Nine-Tails appeared confused and hesitant. Finally, she took a deep breath and decided to tell the truth. Nine-Tails summoned a purple crystal and revealed that this was why Shangguanlan had offered a large reward to capture her. She explained that this was one of the Dragon Clan's ultimate treasures, which greatly surprised Xiao Yu. That treasure is called the Tear of the Dragon. She recounted that the Dragon Clan possessed 3 treasures, among which the reverse scale sword and the Dragon King's whip were powerful combat weapons. However, the Tear of the Dragon had no offensive capabilities, as it was formed from the tears of 10,000 pure-blooded dragons. Xiao Yu was stunned when he heard Dao reveal its ultimate power to reverse time and space, returning to the past. He immediately wondered, believing the Dragon Clan had gone extinct 300 years ago. He continued to question why dragons have been appearing so frequently recently. Xiao Yu pressed for the truth about the Great Dragon Extermination War, but Dao didn't know. Just then, a familiar voice called his name. He startled, turned around, and saw a streak of red energy flash past. Murim Yang Xiao and Murim Xingxin appeared, and the older brother asked why Xiao Xingyu was there. Murim Yang Xiao spoke sarcastically, advising him to be careful not to die again. While Xinxin secretly thought her brother was just awkwardly showing concern internally, Yang Xiao angrily recalled how his sister had tormented herself to the point of refusing to eat due to Xiao Yu and LT, Unk and GT's accident. A flashback appeared showing Yang Zhao trying to persuade his sister to eat, but she stubbornly refused in the dark room. Murim Yang Xiao recounted that his sister only started eating again after seeing news of Xiao Xingyu being alive on TV. He warned Xiao Yu to be careful or his sister would stop eating again, while Murim Xingxin awkwardly covered her brother's mouth. Xiao Yu smiled and agreed to be more cautious so that Murim wouldn't have to worry, then invited them to join the freshman ranking competition. But Yang Xiao coldly refused, stating that their relationship wasn't close enough, especially after Xiao Xingyu had stolen his sister's achievement. Xiao Xingyu appeared awkward and confused by the blunt refusal. Yang Xiao called his sister, and then both turned and left, leaving Xiao Xingyu alone. Xiao Yu wondered to himself, not understanding why Yang Xiao had approached him just to say such things. The scene shifted to Azure Dragon Academy, where fireworks were brilliantly exploding in the sky. At a large arena, host Yongshu welcomed all the staff.